and welcome to my channel. So here's a game in which I blundered the most important piece, which is the queen, and still won the game. So my opponent is with the white pieces and I am with the black pieces. So my opponent went for a pretty standard opening. He started by pushing his king's pawn to the e4 square, and I went for the cow opening. In the cow opening, we first developed these two pawns over here, and then we develop the knights, and then we go for the center. So then my opponent pushed his queen's pawn to the d4 square, and I developed my queen's side pawn. My opponent developed his bishop, I developed my knight, I developed my knight again, and here I went for an attack. I went to attack my opponent's bishop, but then my opponent's bishop was protected by the queen, and I did not want it to lose my knight so early, so I just did not attack the bishop. I went on to attack the second bishop. The second bishop was also protected by the knight. Then I just developed my bishop to in order to castle the short castle. My opponent castled and I did the same. Then my opponent just developed his knight. These two rooks are connected of my opponents, which is really a good thing. And then I went on for an attack. Takes, takes. My opponent cannot take my pawn. I mean, technically he can, but he won't because my pawn is protected with the help of the queen as well as with the help of the knight. So my opponent just decided to retreat his bishop. I just took away the free knight and my bishop was taken by the pawn. But now my opponent's pieces are doubled up, which is not a good thing. And his king's side is opened up. I just took the free bishop, which was unprotected by the way. I just took it and I was planning to take this with revealing a check, but then my opponent protected this piece with his bishop, so I just protected my knight with my bishop, and my bishop is protected with the help of my queen. I check, moves, check. I cannot take the bishop because the bishop is protected with the help of my opponent's queen, so I cannot take it. So I just decided to move. Check. This knight was attacking my bishop basically. So again I checked. Now here comes the real blunder. I just went for a check. I just did not notice this knight over here. I did not notice this knight. And I just went for a check. And thus the knight took my queen, the most valuable piece. So I just went and checked the king again. The king moves, I take the knight, the king takes my knight, and I check the king again with my rook. The king moves, again check. The king moves again, check. I think the king took a wrong decision at this point. The king went over here, check, And the king cannot take my knight because my knight is protected with the help of this pawn. And also the king cannot take the rook because the rook is protected with the help of the knight. So the king had to move on to this square because this is a forced move. Apart from this square, the king cannot move to any other place. The king was here. The king cannot go over here as this square is also protected. The king cannot go over here because, of course, the king is under check. So, and yeah, that's the thing. And the king cannot even take the knight because the knight is protected with the help of the pawn. So, this is a forced move. The king had to move on this square only. This was the only square the king could move, and here is the checkmate. Here's the checkmate. The king cannot go over here. The king cannot go over here due to the rook. The king cannot go over here due to the knight. And the king cannot go over here due to the knight again. And this is how I won a game even when I blundered a queen. Thank you for watching, and do like, share, and subscribe. And let me know down in the comments below how did you find this game. Thank you.